Hey there, Dr. Josh here from Hometown Health. Now unfortunately for most of us in this area, the 76ers would be the NBA team that we would follow just by default. And let's face it, they haven't given us anything exciting to talk about since before Allen Iverson gave us 22 reminders about how he feels about practice. Looking on the bright side of things, Selection Sunday is right around the corner for March Madness, and Villanova has been atop the ranks most of the season, so we actually have something to be excited about for this basketball season. Now maybe you've seen it, or maybe you've even had it happen to you on a basketball court where you've gone up for a layup and you come down right on top of somebody else's foot and your ankle rolls just like that, and you know, oh man, this is not going to be good. So what do we do in an instance like that? Well, if you've been involved in school sports or sports medicine to any capacity, you've probably heard the mantra, rice is nice. So we look at rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Now, the latest research is actually showing that that might not be the most effective way to go about treating a sprain. What we're looking at now is the METH method: movement, elevation, traction, and heat. Our body's natural response when we have an injury like that is to send a whole bunch of blood to the area in order to help heal the tissues quicker, because that's how the tissues heal, is through blood and nutrients in the blood. That's all swelling is. So we want to promote that. The METH method does that. So the heating and the elevation are pretty self-explanatory. The movement that we look for is as much of a comfortable range of motion as possible. You want to keep it slow and controlled, and you want to keep it in a comfortable range. A great way to do that is to take the ankle, and just doing ankle circles just like this can really help to promote proper blood flow and promote the healing that we're looking for. The next part of that is the traction. The traction is so important because it decreases the joint pressure, allowing the old blood to leave and the new blood to come in with new nutrients. Now, I have to put a disclaimer that this should be administered by a provider, a professional, in order to ensure that you're not doing any more damage to the area. Now, after all that pain and swelling is gone, we have to look at restabilizing that ankle, because after an injury we become unbalanced and uncoordinated, and the muscles are weak, and we need to strengthen them back up. So a rehab exercise program is pivotal. Dr. Russ Ebbets, who is a lead instructor for the USA Track and Field, who was also one of my professors in graduate school, put together a program for training the ankles. And it's something that I recommend people do whether they've had an ankle injury or not, because it can be a great way to prevent injuries from occurring in the first place. You can find them by searching Russ Ebbets foot drills on YouTube, and I highly recommend them. So if you find yourself in a position where you do injure your ankle, it's important that you do get it evaluated and treated by a proper professional. It's really important because you don't want to leave it untrained and leave it untreated and have it become a long-term nagging issue where you don't recover. So if you do find yourself in that position, make sure you give us a call or find us online at www.hometownhealthoxford.com, or you can call us at 610-467-1141. Thanks for tuning in, enjoy the tournament, and until next time, stay healthy.
What the hell?